The Ultimate Husband. By Sky Kissing Wolf. Episode 10. Huh, forgotten to bring your bank card, what a splendid reason. William laughed loudly and looked at Samantha. "And Samantha, did you forget to bring yours too?" "Yeah." Ha ha ha. Everyone could not hold in their laughter. A young girl blurted, "Daryl must have forgotten his card too, this family came here to eat a free meal." Lily bit her lips hard as she felt helpless. It was at this moment that Daryl stepped forward. "I brought my card, it's just that." Before Daryl could finish his sentence, William snatched his card over and passed it to the waiter. "Come, let's see whether this card has even $300,000 in it." Lily stomped her feet anxiously, thinking how his card would have $300,000 when she only gave him a daily allowance of $200. He would be making a fool out of himself. Lily could see that everyone around was holding in their laughter, waiting to laugh at him being a joke. At this moment, nobody noticed Yvonne standing up slowly. Her beautiful face was full of shock. "I didn't see it wrongly, right?" "Amethyst Bank's black card," exclaimed Yvonne. Mocking laughter filled the hall initially, but now it turned as silent as the grave. Yvonne's words seemingly turned everyone into stone. This bank card was remarkably pretty, it was all black, laced in gold, and had a diamond engraced on it. Two words were beautifully written on the bottom right corner of the bank card: Daryl Darby. A black card from Amethyst Bank. How was that possible? William's platinum card needed to have at least 10 million savings in it. Moving up the tier was the diamond card, that required 100 million in savings in it. Moving further up was the VIP card, whose cardholder's savings should not be lesser than 500 million. The highest ranking card was the black card that would ask for a total of 1 billion savings. Perhaps in the whole of Donghai City, there would not be more than 3 cards. No one at the venue including Wayne could possess it. Lily and Samantha were both stunned, they could not say a single word. This is just a sticker for bank cards, right?" Somebody among the crowd suddenly blurted out. At this moment, everyone was relieved. It must be some kind of sticker. Such an uncouth-looking person could not possibly own a black card. "Huh, Daryl, you're one disgusting man," laughed William loudly. "Don't mind that you're poor, yet you try to act like a wealthy person." Daryl did not say anything at all and just smiled. Lily came forward and saw the waiter had taken the card away to make payment. "Daryl, get rid of that sticker when we get home, aren't you shameful? Also, does your card have sufficient money in it?" Lily could not help but ask softly. "It's enough, I saved the allowance you gave me every day. Including my savings from before, it's enough," Daryl said. Ha ha ha. Although Daryl's voice was soft, everyone heard him and they laughed again. After paying the bill, everyone in the Linden clan left. Wayne discreetly held Daryl's arm and brought him into his car. "Second young master, I finally meet you again." Wayne was excited, speaking to Daryl as he drove. "Where are you taking me?" "I'm bringing you to meet a few people, they are very eager to see you." Wayne's hands were trembling. "You must come with me." Fine. "I'll go with you, just drive carefully," assured Daryl. Son of AB*TCH, why was this guy so excited? He could not even hold the steering wheel properly. The car speeded away and arrived at a bar's entrance. Donghai City's most luxurious bar, the Moonlit River Bar. It could be assumed that the minimum spending for two in this bar for a night would be $10,000. Many luxurious cars were parked at the entrance of Moonlit River Bar, those who came here to more or less have some financial capability. "What are we doing at a place like this?" asked Daryl as he got down the car. He disliked such places as he found them too noisy. "To give you a surprise." Wayne beamed. "Second young master, the boss of Moonlit River Bar is an old acquaintance of yours, Samson Facey." "Samson Facey?" Oh, Daryl remembered now. Initially, he was just a general worker employed by the Darby clan. Daryl thought that he had the brains and had promoted him to a managerial position. After working for 2 years and earning a sum of money, he then left to start his own business. Daryl did not expect that Samson would open Moonlit River Bar. He did not let Daryl down. "Second young master, please head inside first and wait for me in room number 888, said Wayne as he bowed. "Samson and I shall prepare a surprise for you which you'll definitely love." Wayne left before waiting for Daryl to respond. Daryl sighed and went into the Moonlit River Bar. No wonder the bar was famous, even the ushers at the entrance were beauties. Daryl smiled as he entered, and deafening loud music could be heard. It was extremely lively in the bar, crowds of men and women were swaying their bodies to the music on the dance floor. Daryl felt old, this type of place did not suit him. "Oh. Am I seeing correctly, isn't this useless, Daryl?" Some said from behind suddenly. Daryl subconsciously turned his head around and was stunned. Behind him was a gorgeous woman, wearing a pair of skin-tight jeans and looking seductively sexy. It was Jade. "What should you call me?" "Shouldn't you call me Daddy?" said Daryl smilingly. "You." Jade bit her lips. She was extremely happy today as she had come to negotiate a deal with a big client. If she could sign a contract with this client, she would earn at least 1 million in commission. Hence she had invited her potential client here today, preparing to have a few drinks and get the contract signed. She did not expect to meet Daryl here. "Even you with your uncouth look can manage to come to a place like this," Jade said as she looked at Daryl from head to toe. "Saving $200 a day over a year, just to spend it all here once. Is it worth it?" "Nope." Daryl laughed. "I'll just want to know, when will you finally call me Daddy?" At this moment, a burly man stood up and walked to Jade's side and asked, "Miss Jade, who is this? Why does he talk like an idiot? Do you need me to teach him a lesson?" Jade laughed and said, "Daryl, do you know who this man is beside me? He is Moonlit River Bar's head of security. If I'll ask him to throw you out, would you cry?" There was no mistake, this burly man was her client, Harry Crocker. Head of security was just a title, those who understood could tell that he was a bouncer. After all, a place like this would attract many troublemakers. Harry was famous in Donghai City, having around 20 to 30 men under him just to look after this place. "Skinny bastard, did you hear that? F***ck out here yourself," said Harry in contempt as he took a step forward. What was it with these ushers? Letting an uncouth-looking man into here. This guy dressed in bargain goods probably did not even earn more than 2,000 on his monthly salary, yet he dared to enter a place like this? Daryl just smiled, he did not bother what Harry said and went straight for room 888. All rooms here were glass rooms. Room 888 was positioned right in the center, and it could be seen from the outside that room 888 was dazzling like a palace. "Stop right there!" Harry shouted as he saw Daryl walking into room 888. He concluded that Daryl must be here to cause trouble. Daryl had already sat down inside, holding up a cup of tea preparing to drink it. Ha ha ha. It was over for Daryl this time. Jade felt joyous in her heart. Was Daryl stupid? A private room like that was not for a useless son-in-law like him to sit in. Jade and Harry had a chat previously and he mentioned the room had not been used for half a year already. Harry had a nominal kinship with the boss here as his godfather and son. Despite that, even he dared not enter room 888. "Are you deaf? Can't you hear me?" Harry shouted as he strode forward and grabbed Daryl by his collar. "Huh, Jade the goddess is here, if I beat this punk's ass it'll show how mighty I am, right?" thought Harry while he called out. Immediately, 20 overburly men rushed into room 888. They were all bouncers at the Moonlit River Bar. "What's wrong, Harry?" the burly men asked. Harry turned to look at Jade and laughed. "Miss Jade, how should I deal with this guys?" Jade looked at Daryl, he still had an indifferent look on his face. Seeing him like this made her mad. She stomped her feet with her heels and said, "Make him call me mommy, then throw him out." Episode 11. With high heels adorning her feet, she stomped and said, "Make him call me mommy, then throw him out." "Did you hear what Miss Jade said, you little bastard? Let her hear you call her mommy. Or else." Harry roared. As soon as he said that, more than 20 burly men behind him reached to their lower back and pulled out their expandable batons. "Or else, don't blame me for not sparing you any courtesy. I'm giving you a way out. Be a good boy and call her mommy," Harry said with a smirk and continued. "Then, if you kneel on the ground for her and admit your mistake, you'll be allowed to leave here safe and sound. Otherwise, I'll send you out on a stretcher." Jade could not resist laughing. She took 2 steps forward in her high heels and fished out her cell phone from her bag. If Daryl finally caved in and called her mommy, she would record it and send it Yo Lily. What if Elle don't? Daryl was amused and began looking at Jade up and down. Jade frowned upon seeing Daryl's resistance. "Mr. Crocker, hit him and make him kneel." "My pleasure." Harry stretched out both arms. One hand grabbed Daryl by the collar while the other delivered a fierce punch. "Stop right there, you be asterisk starred." A roar echoed, and the door was kicked open by 4 or 5 individuals. Everyone was stunned after seeing the group of people. Samson Facey, the boss of Moonlit River. Wayne Woodall, the boss of the Oriental Pearl Hotel. Felix Blakely, owner of Black Tiger Real Estate. Emily Dickinson, the owner of Posia Eleganza. Siegfried Yates, the general manager of Southeast Petroleum, Donghai City. Any one of them was with at least billions, and the person who spoke earlier was none other than Samson. A smile appeared on Daryl's face when he saw them. They were his old friends who used to be poor but had received favors from him in the past. They seemed to have ended up rather successful in business world. "You be asterisk starred." Samson nearly died of fright. How dare that be asterisk starred lay a hand on the second young master. He rushed over and slapped Harry's face. Slap. Samson practically used up all of his strength in that slap and Harry covered his cheek as it began to swell. "Godfather!" Harry yelled and was on the brink of tears. "Godfather, this peasant worker is causing trouble. How dare he sit in room 888? Slap." Samson slapped again and roared, "What about that peasant worker? Did he provoke you? You're already looking down on people after enjoying a little luxury. What did I teach you? Godfather!" Harry yelled disgruntledly and his eyes were red. "But Godfather, this kid, he's an outsider. Why would you hit me for his sake?" Samson trembled in rage before pointing at Daryl, saying, "Outsider. Don't you King know that I won't be where I am today without this person? He's the Darby family's second young master. You'll have to work for 10 years to get a day's worth of his pocket money." "What?" The entire room immediately fell silent. Harry was stupefied. He often heard tales of his godfather working for the Darby family before establishing Moonlit River. His godfather was lucky to have been appreciated by the second young master. Never in Harry's wildest dreams would he expect the poor young man to be the Darby family's second young master. Jade was flabbergasted too. At that moment, she felt her legs turn limp as her delicate body unconsciously took 2 steps back. She could see the immense respect these business tycoons had when standing in front of Daryl. How was that possible? He was just a live-in son-in-law. That loser was doing housework whenever she went to Lily's house. Even her laundry, which she was usually disinclined to do, was sent to Lily's house and given to that loser to wash. But. He turned out to be the Darby family's second young master. Mr. Darryl, I made a mistake. I was wrong." Harry was close to crying. He bowed to Daryl and apologized profusely. "Mr. Darryl, blame this woman. Harry bellowed all of a sudden before pointing at Jade. It's all because of you. It's because of you that I offended Mr. Darrell. Leave right now. Jade trembled. But we haven't signed the contract yet. Jade worked in a renovation company, and it just so happened that Moonlit River required some renovations. It was a big project that would rake in a commission of at least $1 million if the contract was successfully signed. As a result, Jade did not bring up the deal with the company and planned to accept it in her personal capacity. A commission of $1 million was considered the minimum, and she might even stand to earn $2 million. This was not the kind of business she could just turn her back on. $1 to $2 million was at stake. Sign my foot. Harry's eyes were red. He pointed at Jade and cursed loudly. If it weren't for you, I would have never offended Mr. Darrell. *CK the contract. I'll even make sure to head to your company and tell your boss about all your business dealings behind their back. Your company forbids you to solicit projects privately, so sit back and wait for a lawsuit. Jade's beautiful face completely drained of color. She bit her lip tightly. If the company knew about her private solicitations and brought her to court, she would be lucky if she only had to pay compensation. There was a definite possibility that she might end up going to jail. Mr. Darrell. At that moment, Jade bit her lip and walked to Darrell. She tugged his arm and shook it coyly. Mr. Darrell, I was wrong. Her voice was so soft that it was impossible to hear if one did not pay attention. She never dreamed that she would one day apologize to this good-for-nothing. It hardly occurred to her that she would bow and scrape to this hopeless loser. Darrell remained expressionless and smiled, looking at her. Didn't you just say that you wanted me to kneel and call you mommy? I was wrong. I know now that I was wrong. Jade bit her lip so tightly that it almost bled. Kneel. Jade clasped her hands together tightly. Her dignity and self-esteem meant nothing at that moment. She bent her knees slightly and proceeded to kneel in front of Darrell. Mr. Darrell, I'm begging you. Please forgive me. Jade grabbed Darrell's trousers and said softly, Mr. Darrell, if my company knows about my private business dealings, the consequences are really serious. I'm begging you. Please spare me, for Lily's sake. Sure. Darrell responded curtly. But what are you supposed to address me as? As Darrell said that, he placed his hand to his ear and gazed down at Jade. A chill came up her spine as she knelt there. How could she not know what Darrell meant? Daddy. Jade bit her lip tightly and whispered. Her face had already turned red. Darrell was the person she looked down on the most. The mere sight of him would leave her feeling sick. At that point, however, she had renounced virtually all of her dignity in front of Darrell. You'll address me like that in the future. Understood? Darrell asked with a smirk. Jade nodded repeatedly. Also, I don't want Lily to know my identity. Darrell took out a cigarette, lit it, and inhaled deeply. You know what to do, don't you? Yes. Jade answered and glanced at Darrell. Don't worry, Daddy. I won't say a single word about what happened today. Darrell nodded in satisfaction and waved his hand indicating that she could leave. Second young master, I failed to discipline my godchild. Samson bowed to Darrell after everyone left. At the same time, Wayne, Felix, Emily and Siegfried also stepped forward and bowed. Second young master, we were nothing all those years ago. Emily took a step forward. If it weren't for you, we wouldn't be where we are today. Knowing that you are here today, we got you a gift. She took out a box while speaking. Emily's Posia Eleganza specialized in cosmetics, and the Posia Eleganza brand had succeeded in making a name for itself. 3 years ago, she was just a promoter giving out flyers on the street. One time, she scratched Darrell's car by accident, but instead of leaving, she waited an entire night for Darrell to return. On that occasion, Darrell felt that she was a person of good character and gave her $300,000 to start a business. Time passed in the blink of an eye and it was already 5 years since the incident. Emily opened the box, the inside of which contained a scroll. As soon as she unfurled it, Darrell inhaled sharply. It was a work of calligraphy that looked rather old. The inscription wrote, Wang Shiji. Was that Wang Shiji's pinyin tie? The scroll made the news after being auctioned off by a mysterious Chinese rich man. We know that second young master is fond of antiques, paintings, and calligraphy, so we pooled out money and bought this from a collector. Felix chuckled as he explained. It was very eye-catching to see his 2 rows of pearly teeth contrasting with his very tan skin. Second young master, your birthday is in 3 days, right? This is our birthday present to you. Birthday? Darrell facepalmed. He had forgotten it completely. His birthday was on the same day as Grandmother Linden, which was happening in 3 days. No one remembered his birthday in previous years. Everyone celebrated Grandmother Linden's birthday, and Darrell merely benefited from sharing the same birthday as her. It came as a surprise that there were still people who remembered his birthday. In one of Donghai City's cafes, Ashton sat face to face with Lily. He had yet to reveal his bankruptcy to Lily. I've decided, Lily Budd. I'll bring up the marriage proposal to the Linden family on Grandmother Linden's birthday. Ashton looked at Lily affectionately. Episode 12. You. Lily frowned when Ashton talked about the marriage proposal. Forgot it, I'm not divorced yet. Although Darrell was a loser, he had worked hard in the past few years and fulfilled his housework duties. He received a telling off every time he failed to do a good job, yet he never complained. Even a dog would have feelings, let alone a human. Darrell had recently loaned them $5 million and relieved the company of its woes. Aside from that, Darrell had to take out all the money he had saved over the years to avoid embarrassment when William suggested going Dutch in Oriental Pearl Hotel. Ashton looked at her affectionately. Lily Budd, am I inferior to Darrell in any way? He's a loser. Don't you worry, I'll prepare a big gift for Grandma's birthday and wish her a happy birthday. She'll be delighted with the gift. I'll propose marriage when the time comes and I'm sure that Grandma would not refuse. Lily casually sipped her coffee. The Linden family's rules were very strict, and Grandmother Linden had the final say. If she took a liking to Ashton, Lily might be instructed to divorce Darrell. Lily genuinely regarded Darrell as a loser, but she was not completely apathetic toward him. After all, they had been married for 3 years, and she did not dare to say that she had no feelings for him. Let me ask you something. Lily suddenly said. What is it? Ask away, Lily Budd. The pair of the worship of crystal. You didn't give me the real one, did you? Lily could not help but ask. Lily Budd. I get angry when you mention that. Ashton sighed and a fierce look flashed in his eyes. The shoes I gave you were imitations, but they are still worth $300,000. Your loser husband threw them. When I went home and saw those shoes, I realized that he had destroyed them. Lily listened to Ashton's grumbles and bit her lip tightly. I'm talking about the genuine pair of the worship of crystal. Weren't you the one who gave them to me? Lily asked softly. What? Ashton was taken aback. His first instinct was to look below. Sure enough, Lily was wearing a pair of noble and elegant high heels. It was none other than the worship of crystal. His mouth opened wide after glancing at those heels. That pair of the worship of crystal was on a whole other level compared to the high-grade imitation worth $300,000. Ashton might be a man, but he knew that those shoes were genuine. They looked particularly elegant and complemented a noble look on any woman who wore them. Gulp. Ashton gulped fiercely. 30 million. A pair of genuine the worship of crystal cost 30 million. That very pair was special in that it was limited to 99 pairs worldwide. Those without connections were unable to purchase them. Was this pair a gift from you? Lily pressed on. She really could not think of anyone else who would give her something so expensive. Indeed, many people wanted to purse her, but deep down, Lily knew that most of her suitors were merely rich kids. They might be wealth, but they could not spend 30 million just for a gift. What about Ashton? Despite being in dire straits after the Darby family cut off their funding, he still had an eye for detail. If his guesses were correct, then someone else had given those shoes to Lily, though she had absolutely no idea who the giver was. Did people like that still exist? Anonymous gift givers. Ha ha ha. Well, if you don't want to take credit for it, then I'd be happy to. Ashton was overjoyed. He smiled cheekily and feigned coyness. You got me, Lily Bud. I'll tell you the truth then. I gave it to you. Ah. Really? Lily looked at him puzzlingly. Why didn't you admit it when I asked you before? Ashton scratched his head. It's not that I didn't want to admit it, Lily Bud. I'm just worried you'll scold me. Why would I scold you? Lily asked. Ashton gazed lovingly at Lily. Because I know in my heart that you love these shoes and you wanted them for a very long time. I wanted to buy them for you, Lily Bud, but as you may know, our company only has 30 million. That's why Elle bought you a pair of high-quality copies. Still, when I gave them to you, I had a feeling that you didn't like them that much. He took out his cell phone, tapped the screen a few times, then said, so I decided to sell the company and bought you this pair. I was worried you'll scold me for being stupid. Lily Bud, you know that you're the most important person in my heart. I'm not stupid. I just love you too much. I'll always find a way to get you the stuff you like because I love you. Ashton handed over his phone as he explained. A photo was on display and it was that of Ashton's contract to leave the company. Ashton chuckled in his heart. While the contract was real, the reason he signed it was because the Darby family drove him away and no longer allowed him to remain in the company. Ashton was still in the dark over who he had offended and why it caused the Darby family to chase him out all of a sudden. On the other hand, Lily knew nothing about that. She truly believed that Ashton had sold off the company and bought her those shoes. Although her affections for Ashton were not of the romantic kind, she felt slightly emotional at that moment and looked right at him. You. Lily's lips nearly bled due to her biting it. Why are you so stupid? I'm not stupid. Ashton seized the chance and reached out to hold Lily's beautiful hand. Lily Bud, I'm willing to do anything for you. Lily trembled. Even though she found it heartwarming, she still retracted her hand and looked at Ashton with mixed feelings. In the end, she picked up her bag and left. Ashton ogled her slender, curvy figure from behind. I'm going to get this woman. Ashton had a little smile as if he could already imagine Lily's captivating body. Moonlit River Bar. It was ages since Darryl last got drunk, and he had lost all self-control today. You can still tolerate a fair bit of alcohol, second young master. Samson raised his glass and said, from now on, don't ever call me second young master again. Darryl looked around and downed his glass. I'm not keep on being addressed like that. 3 years ago, his sister-in-law led the charge to kick Darryl out of the family. From that point onward, he was especially averse to the title of second young master. The thought of what happened back then prompted Darryl to clench his fists. Back then, he had used 8 million to buy Southeast Petroleum's shares, but no one ever believed that he could make money out of it. His sister-in-law alleged that it was an attempt to hollow out the clan funds, and under her investigation, the family kicked Darryl out of the clan. However, the 8 million from that time was his own pocket money, which he saved himself and formed his private funds. Darryl was well aware that his sister-in-law did that for a reason. There were 2 candidates for the Darby family's future patriarch. The first in line was Florian, Darryl's elder brother. The second was none other than Darryl. His sister-in-law wanted to get rid of him so there would be no one else vying with Florian for the patriarch position / Then is it okay if we call you Mr. Darby from now on? Wayne asked, snapping Daryl back to the present. Daryl nodded. His mood had soured after reflecting on his past. He then saw Emily approaching him from one side. She said softly, "Mr. Darby, there's something I want to tell you." "What is it?" Daryl finished the drink in his hand and looked at her. He had to admit that Emily looked much more charming than compared to when he first met her. In the present, her business had taken off and she had built her brand of cosmetics, making her look more alluring than before. "It's about your sister-in-law," Emily said in his ear. "Let's hear it." Emily nodded and slowly began. "Just last year, your sister-in-law contacted someone to get in touch with me. She wanted to buy a piece of limited edition cosmetics. After I bought it for her and chatted with her, I found out by accident that she's very ambitious." Daryl had a faint smile. He had long noticed how ruthless ambitious his sister-in-law was. Why else would she have chased him away if not for that characteristic of hers? In a bustling area of Donghai City, Lily, who had just parted ways with Ashton, was walking side by side with Phoebe. "Why do you look so distracted, Lily?" Phoebe asked as they walked out of a store. Lily shook her head. "It's nothing." At that point, her mind was filled only with thoughts of Ashton. It was hard to imagine that the man had sold his company just to buy her a pair of heels. "By the way, Lily, did you hear about the cosmetics brand that's all the rage recently?" Phoebe asked excitedly. The absent-minded Lily finally showed some interest. "Is it Posia Eleganza's Crow line?" "Yes, yes, yes." The two of them giggled at the same time. There was myriad of topics that women could talk about, but the ones that interested them most were stuff like cosmetics and clothes. One particular brand of cosmetics was in the spotlight recently, and that brand was Posia Eleganza. Valentine's Day was coming soon, and Posia Eleganza had launched another series called the Crown line. It was limited to 520 sets worldwide. Each set cost $520,000 and was considered to be royalty among the cosmetics brands. Every woman desired it. Although $520,000 were not too expensive a sum, plenty of rich people scrambled to get their hands of it, and those without any connections were downright unable to buy them. For more episodes, please support my channel by hitting the subscribe button.